It was good. I think our coaches did a really good job of planning out another good bye week. Our last bye week we did a really good job, I think, and I think that's what kind of made us come out fast against Arizona. And hopefully we can do the same with that same plan that we had during this bye week.
How different is a bye week after 2 losses opposed to 4 straight wins?
Honestly, more helpful. I thought the first bye week was beneficial for us, but I feel like this one was a lot more beneficial just to regroup, get things going again, get back on the same page, and see where our miscues are and fix those and get back at it.
What's been the message? I mean, you guys lost 2 in a row last year. Hey, it's still out in front of us.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously there's going to be, needed some losses in here and there, but all we got to focus on is just winning our next 5 games and winning the first game at a time, and that's BYU.
Why would you say that this bye week was different?
I think just like he said, coming off of 2 losses, just regrouping, finding those miscues that we need to get better at. That's why it was so much more beneficial because we knew areas that we need to get better at, and that's what we used this for.
Where have you improved?
I think I've improved. Really, this bye week for me was kind of just getting back to just playing free, playing fun. I just feel like I was out there trying not to mess up for the team, and I got to be better. And so I think this bye week was good for me to regroup, look myself in the mirror, and say, just go out there and play football.
We've heard a lot about BYU's defensive line. What makes them so good and so tough?
I think they're a veteran group. They have a great defensive coordinator that teaches them, a lot of great stunts, a lot of great twists. They set up in a bunch of different fronts, which is confusing for the offensive line and for me as well. So just getting a lot of looks at those over the past week and a half so far has been really beneficial. And it's kind of like similar to Arizona. They had a lot of different similar fronts up front, and we were able to work through it. And so hopefully we can do that again.
Some penalty issues for you guys offensively the last couple of weeks that you guys have been out there. What is your job in kind of correcting some of those things moving forward?
I think it's leadership. I think it's kind of, calming everybody down, just getting back to the basics and the details and the precision. And that just comes from great practice reps and not messing up in practice, being detailed in practice. And we've done a good job of that.
So much about cadence or signs. Is it a refocus to those things and how you're speaking it or how guys are reading their signs before plays?
Yeah, I think cadence is, it could be a huge thing, if I'm not loud enough or, if the clap is off. So everybody's got to be on the same page, and that's why this bye week was so beneficial for us.
How much are you dying to get back into the Jack and play in front of your home fans?
I'm super stoked because it's been a long time, and we're excited to see these fans again. It was sold out, literally 3 days after our Colorado game. So it shows that these fans still want to see us play, and we got to go out there and put good football for them.
What do you do to disconnect?
I do a few things. I get into some Legos a little bit. I like to go out and play golf. I just like to chill by myself, kind of, just get in a mindset where I have nothing else to worry about, and kind of just going out there and, being myself.
Legos, what are you building?
It's usually like cars, like big cars, planes. Usually that kind of stuff just lets me, be calm and refocus.
Does anybody help you?
No, I don't like anybody helping me.
Film.
Toughness a lot this season, but it seems like the thing he's talking about most is season. How did you attack that sort of thing in the bye week?
Yeah, our first 4 weeks were, I think, the least penalized team in the Big 12, and we ended up, after that, just, making a bunch of penalties for ourselves, and we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times. And I think getting back to the details, the precision in practice is huge, and getting those reps in practice and not making sure that we're not messing up in practice, because when what you do in practice translate over to the field. And I think over the past week and a half, we've done a good job of going out there prepared and detailed in everything we're doing.
Did you get in with like extra time with the wide receivers and stuff over the bye week and try and get those guys back on the same line with you?
I did. That was a big focus for me over the bye week, is getting with those guys, letting them know what I want on some of the routes. If we were on the same page, and just getting with the coaches as well, making sure we're all on the same page, because that's huge as well. And I think that was beneficial for us, and I think we did a good job of that. And the receivers stepped up big last week, just having good reps in practice and making sure we're on the same page. And that's going to translate over to this week. I know it.
Is that extra time like in the Bergstrom outside of practice, or is that watching film, or what goes into that?
It's more in the classroom, in the film room. I think on the field, I think their routes and the way they go about their plays and concepts is great. It's full speed and all that kind of stuff, but it's kind of like the little things where I want you to turn, if I want you to turn earlier, come out of it quicker, and that comes in the classroom when we're watching the film together.
What stood out to you in the film is fixable or correctable, or the things you guys want to come out Saturday doing?
Yeah, I think it's between me and the receivers. It's probably just being on the same page because there was a good amount of plays last week where we just seemed a little bit off, and we hadn't seemed like that in a while. And so just fixing those things up, and then kind of just when we're in the red zone, just figuring out how we can fix that. And I think it's just focusing on like making sure that it's just like situational or open field plays. Like just think of it like that. Don't get too excited about we're about to score, stuff like that. Just kind of keep the main focus, same focus as if we were on the 50-yard line.
Disconnect, reading the defense the same way, or what? How does that happen, or where is that getting?
The defense is going to change when we get into the red zone, so it's not really on my part. I think it's just like the pre-snap operation, whether that's a penalty, a false start, or we don't have as many guys on the field, or I snap the ball and there's a ref in front of the ball, and so all those kind of stuff has just been hurting us. It hasn't really been after the snap, but that's kind of like where we need to get better.
I guess I meant more with the receivers and being on the same page. Where is that happening?
Yeah, that's happening like I said, in the classroom. Watching the film, there was a couple plays in that game where I made a cut up, brought it back into the receivers, and asked them what's your thought on this process, and then I told them this is kind of what I want, what my thought process is, and that's kind of where we got on the same page. They were all cool with it. Everyone was excited to just get back on the field and work at it. And so credit to those guys for just letting me have that meeting with them and understanding that they're able to go out there and run it the way we want it.
How much of that is fourth-year quarterback, third-year starter versus new guys in the program of just understanding the fine details of how you're reading a defense and how you expect a play to unfold?
Yeah, I think it's a big difference because a lot of those guys haven't been in the offense or ran reps with me as much as our past guys. And so I think those meetings are not just for a bye week, but maybe every single week for us. And I think that's kind of what's going to help us in the future.
It sounded earlier like you were saying that you'd been pressing the last 2 weeks. Do you know the reason why you were pressing?
Because I think I just love this team so much. I don't want to mess up for him. I don't want to be the person to mess up. But it's kind of like realizing that like the quarterback, if he's going to make a lot of mistakes, and I got to know that. And so I kind of just got to go out there and play my game. And something bad happens, it happens, and I got to just bounce right back up and go on to that next drive.